Hello everyone and welcome back to Go Again, a fabulous cast. Continuing our series of in-depth hero reviews, today I want to talk Dorinthea Ironsong. Alright guys, hey, so welcome back. We were off on vacation, so it's been a couple weeks since we posted, but we are definitely back and we're going strong. So Dorinthea, she's been doing quite well in locals just because of her consistency, right? And she's really fun to play, so a lot of people are attracted to her, and honestly, her art's just fantastic. So let's dive into Dorinthea here real quick, right? So she has a once per turn effect. So when your weapon attack hits, you may attack an additional time with that weapon this turn, right? And that just leads you right out of the gate to understand that everything about Dorinthea is about hitting with her weapon, which is Dawnblade. So once per action for 1 energy, you can attack. If Dawnblade hits, and it's the second time it's hit this turn, right? That's important. Second time it hits this turn, you put a +1 attack counter on it. And at the beginning of your end phase, if it has not hit, you have to remove all the counters, right? So it doesn't take a genius to figure out that the strategy here is very, very straightforward. Hit with her sword, hit with her sword again, make her sword better, and don't miss with her sword, right? That's going to be our move. So before we get too much into the strategy of how we're going to do that, let's just go through her big equipment, which help define really who she is, right? So Brave Forge Bracers, once per turn action for 1 resource. Your next weapon attack this turn gains +1 attack. However, you can only activate this ability if the weapon that you're doing it to has hit this turn, and then it has go again. So we actually do have this card, and we've gotten it on the table several times. And we do find it challenging to use this card because a lot of times by the time that you're getting to your second attack, right? So generally you have to play like a 1 drop to enable her sword to have the go again. Pay for that, so now you're already 2 in the hole, and then by the time the sword hits the 3rd time, you've already paid 3, so that's a 3 pitch right there, and now you're paying 1 more on top of that. So we found it very challenging to use this. I think it's only been used a couple times. It's a very cool one in theory, but we found it, at least with the way that we've been playing it and the way that our deck works, we found this one not to be quite as amazing as I think we thought it would be. Okay. Now looking real quick at her Majestics and her Supers, which again helped kind of define her suite, Glint the Quicksilver is an amazing, amazing attack reaction card. So this is 0. Target weapon attack gains go again. Okay, very, very simple. However, it also has Reprise, which is that if the defending hero is defended with a card from their hand this link, draw a card, right? So what this really does is you just hold it in your hand. If you know that you're going to hit with the sword, you throw this down as a react, the sword now gains go again, and you actually get to replace Glint with another card from your deck. That's pretty good. Another card that is kind of stupid good with her is Rout. Target weapon attack gains +3 attack. Okay. Reprise, right? This theme here. If the defending hero is defended with a card from their hand this chain link, return target non-equipment defending card to its owner's hand. Whoa. Okay, so this does cost 2. But it is well worth it, right? So they've thrown down, I don't know, a 3 or 4 defense. Drop this. Not only do you boost your attack, you actually return that card to their hand and they lose the defense, right? So this can be like a 5 or 6 point swing easy just for the cost of 2. All right, next we move into one of her specializations, which is Singing Steelblade. Target weapon attack gains +1 attack. Okay. And then it has Reprise, right? So if they've defended, search your deck for an attack reaction card, banish it face up, then shuffle your deck, and you can play that this turn, right? So what you're doing for 1 is you're allowing yourself to go in and tutor an attack react. A lot of times, you may be pulling Rout, right? Or something just as good. This card's very good, right? It does cost you the 1. You have to get a little creative with your resource management, but also very good, right? Now we get into her supers, right? Ironsong Determination. Target weapon gains +1 and Dominate until end of turn. Remember, Dominate limits the amount of cards that your opponent can play in response. And then this one has go again because it of itself is an action. And then we have Steelblade Supremacy, which is, again, a specialization. Till end of turn, target weapon gains +2. And whenever this hits, draw a card. Go again. Okay, so in theory, right, if you're playing it, It can kind of replace itself. It's not as good as doing an attack react, but it gives the next one attack and can help you hit. So really, again, what's been very clear early with Dorinthea is that her true strength really lies in her attack reacts and the ability to just get that sword to hit, right? There's a lot of times when I've been playing against Amy's Dorinthea where I think I'm going to be able to block the sword and take those counters off, and then boom, plan's foiled, right? She either bounces something back or she'll play some, like Ironsong Response, for example, right? Ironsong Response is just a 0 attack react. If the defending hero has reprised, if the defending hero is defended, give +3, right? So the beauty for the Dorinthea player is you just hold it. If you need to play it, you do. If you don't, you don't, right? It's pretty great, and it's 0. And then we have Sharpened Steel, which is kind of a dumbed down specialization that we saw, right? Your next weapon attack this turn gains 3, go again. This is one of those cards that you're probably only playing like the 1-pitch version of, just a 3. But the one you're playing 9 of, right, your bread and butter card is Warrior's Valor, and it's fantastic that this is a rare, and that's part of the reason that I think Dorinthea is seeing so much play is you can build a very consistent Dorinthea deck for not a lot of money, right? Most of the rares are only like $1. So Warrior's Valor, next weapon attack this turn gains +3, and if this hits, the attack gains go again. Of course, the 2-pitch is 2, and the 3-pitch is only 1. But you're going to be playing all of them, right? Because what you're doing is if the sword hits, it gains go again, which is exactly in your strategy, right? Warrior's Valor is your bread and butter fundamental card for her deck. Okay? Then just remember, right, the more counters we get on Dawnblade, the bigger and badder it becomes, the harder it becomes for your opponent to defend it because they have to start to spend more cards, and I don't know, it starts getting pretty ugly pretty quick. So you just have to make sure it hits, and of course if you're playing against Dorinthea, you have to do everything you can, even if it means sacking one of your turns, to try and defend and get those counters off Dawnblade, because it's just going to make your life harder if they're sitting on there. All right, so when it comes to Dorinthea's cost curve, let's look at the Warrior's Valor combo, right, just to kind of outline where we need to be sitting. So Warrior's Valor itself is 1, which then you're going to attack with Dawnblade, which costs you additional 1, so now we're at 2. And then assuming that everything goes well and we hit, and we haven't spent anything on reacts, we then have to go a 3rd time with the Dawnblade, and that's going to cost you 3, right? So your basic fundamental attack in Dorinthea wants you to spend 3, right? So you are going to be playing probably 30%-ish 3-pitch cards, right? So the way that I like to fill the deck out is not just with the fundamentals like Sharpened Steel and stuff like that you can kind of use maybe in a pinch, but I also like the energy potions, right? Energy potions or sink belows and just stuff like that, just kind of quote-unquote filler cards, but they can, kind of be useful in a pinch, but mostly you're going to be using them. Energy portion, of course, you can always throw down on a bad defend turn, and that can help you build more for in the future. But really, the 3-pitch is really going to be also kind of the bread and butter of Dorinthea, right? You want a 3-pitch, you want to be able to play your combo and get out of the turn. Right? She does have some cards I want to talk to. So Steelblade Shunt, I know this one isn't super popular as a defend react, but if it defends a weapon attack, which you see a fair amount, especially from like Katsu, right? Deal 1 damage to the attacking hero, right? As a ninja player, I hate this card because my weapon's hitting for 1 and I'm then taking 1. Now she does have to pitch 1 to play this card, but you're almost positive that it's not going to hit. I mean, now, this, of course, is huge overkill for the Katsu blade, right? So that may have been a bad example, but to defend 6 or even 4 in the 3-pitch version and deal a damage is actually pretty cost-effective for 1, right? I think that's well worth it. So another card that you can play as a filler on the budget side is Driving Blade. So for 2, which is why it's not great, but you can if you need to, but for 2, your next weapon attack this turn gains +3 and go again, right? Because it's an action. So you set it up. If it hits, it gets it again. It's basically kind of like a filler for Warrior's Valor. It's nowhere near as good as Warrior's Valor because, do the math, right? 2 and then 1. You actually have to pitch 2 cards to get the Driving Blade combo off, where you only have to pitch 1 card to get the Warrior's Valor combo off, right? So I'm not saying Driving Blade is super awful, but it's not great when you're comparing it to something like a Warrior's Valor, right? Or even potentially like a Nature's Pilgrimage. All right, so some other cards that work well with the, we always play Springboard Somersault just because we really like that card. And again, if it comes out of the arsenal, then it works even better. But other cards like Sink Below, right? Sink Below works really well with Dorinthea in particular because you don't specifically care necessarily which attack reactions you're getting, but the more you get, the better position you're going to be. So that works great. And then you can also run Razor Reflex. This is one that you're probably only running the 1-pitch version, potentially the 2-pitch version of, but choose one. Target sword or dagger weapon attack gains +3. That's what you're using it for, right? You're just trying to buff her sword so it can hit. So those are some good flex cards that you can use in the neutral slots as filler. So, kind of in summary, bringing this home, right? Dorinthea can do some pretty good things. And what really impresses me with her is just her overall consistency and how well she can do it cheaply, right? So I think that a lot of the newer players should be attracted to Dorinthea. I realize the big numbers on like a Bravo or a Reinar are super sexy, but Dorinthea's ability to just consistently punch stuff through and get stronger as the game goes, which is not something we see in this game, right? Everyone seems to kind of start and kind of stay where they are. Maybe you can set up a few things, but generally your board's getting weaker as you're kind of going through your armor. But Thea, as she gets those counters, her board just becomes better and better over time, and eventually there's just nothing your opponent can do about it, right? So it helps kind of overwhelm that end game state where everybody's just defending, and you kind of get to that, we have to get up to end the game stage. A lot of times Dorinthea can just push it through because all she needs is a big sword and one attack react, and you're right there. So I know a lot of people out there have been having a lot of success with Dorinthea, both high level and local, and again, I think that's just because she's fun and consistent and straightforward. And again, you can do it on a budget. So if you've been having success with her, let me know what you think. If there's some stuff I got wrong or some stuff you want me to add, let me know and put it in the comments below. Otherwise, hey, make sure to like, subscribe, help us grow the Fab community, and if nothing else, go Commando.